Tamika, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Regional News. We start off with some news coming out of Haiti. Now, the Organization of American States, OAS, said on Tuesday that its General Secretariat was, and I quote, closely monitoring the current situation in Haiti and that it was concerned with the respect for human rights and the independence of powers. The OAS said that its General Secretariat, and I quote, renews its support for the electoral process as the only option consistent with the Democratic Charter to replace the current constitutional president with another president on February 7, 2022. On Monday, opposition parties in Haiti declared 72-year-old Judge Joseph Hien Louis the country's interim leader a day after an alleged coup plot to foil, as they insisted that President Jovenel Moïse must step down. In a video message, Hien Louis, the longest-serving judge in the Supreme Court, said he, and I quote, accepted the choice of the opposition and civil society to serve his country as interim president for the transition. Moïse, who has ruled by the decree since mid-January, has stated he would hand over power to the winner of the elections, but would not step down until his term expires in 2022. But the opposition has rejected his interpretation of the Constitution and has insisted his term came to an end on Sunday. Over in Trinidad and Tobago, Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gaspard has instructed police to charge one man with the murder of court clerk Andrea Barrett. Investigators said that they plan to lay the charge overnight with the intent of bringing the 24-year-old Malabar man before the court. The man was allegedly in the vehicle when Joel Balkan kidnapped Barrett in Arima on January 29. The instructions were given on Wednesday afternoon by the DPP. Investigators said Gaspard also instructed that the man's wife, a 37-year-old, be charged with the offense of receiving stolen articles. Balkan died on Monday afternoon in Mount Hope. His autopsy conducted found he had died as a result of blunt force trauma. Balkan, aka Devon Charles, was the second person to have died in police custody. Andrew Morris, 35, of Arima, died at the Arima Hospital on February 1, but his death was reported by police on February 3. Police said he was taken to the hospital after receiving injuries. Barrett's funeral is expected to be taking place on Friday. And finally, on the international scene, the coronavirus variant first found in the British region of Kent is a concern because it could undermine the protection given by vaccines against developing COVID-19, the head of the UK's genetic surveillance program said. She also said the variant was dominant in the country and was likely to sweep the world in all probability. The coronavirus has killed 2.35 million people and turned normal life upside down for billions. But a few new worrying variants out of thousands have raised fears that vaccines will need to be tweaked and people may require booster shots. Sharon Peacock, director of the COVID-19 Genomics UK Consortium, said vaccines were so far effective against the variants in the United Kingdom, but the mutations could potentially undermine the shots. The new mutation, first identified in Bristol in southwest England, has been designated as a variant of concern by the new and emerging respiratory virus threats advisory group. There are so far 21 cases of that variant, which has E484K mutation, which occurs on the spike protein of the virus, the same change as has been seen in the South African and Brazilian variants. There are three major known variants that are worrying scientists. The South American variant, known by scientists at B1351, the so-called UK or Kent variant, known as B117, and the Brazilian variant known as P1. And that is it for our regional news this evening, and I continue to urge our viewers to stay indoors, wear those masks, use those hand sanitizers, and continue practicing social distancing. Back to you, Tamika.